It's brother against brother, or clone against clone, however you want to look at it, in War of the Gargantuas. I really want to say that this film deserves all the praise it's gotten from people like Brad Pitt and Quentin Tarantino, but
The words get stuck in my throat. The words.
if you're new here, please do consider subscribing to my channel. I have a lot of kaiju and tokusatsu content coming your way every other Tuesday. And now without further ado, let's get into the review. Don't mind if I do. Let's talk about kaiju. Okay, I'll stop. A Japanese fishing boat is attacked by a giant octopus, which then gets attacked by a giant humanoid monster named Gaira. We soon find out that Gaira has a taste for human flesh and must be killed before he eats everybody. Before the military can finish the job, another monster named Sanda comes to his aid. As our scientists try to convince everyone that Sanda is harmless, both monsters get into a fight over the ethics of eating humans. So this is kind of a pseudo-sequel to Frankenstein Conquers the World, where scientists raise and care for a monster that eventually escapes into the mountains. It's implied that Sanda is that monster, even though he doesn't quite look like Frankenstein from the last movie, and then there's this whole thing with two endings. It's a bit complicated, just go with it. I love that the story can easily be conveyed without the use of human characters, especially since some of the human characters in this film leave a lot to be desired. I'll elaborate on that in a minute. If you can easily tell what's happening on screen with little to no dialogue, that's excellent storytelling. That's one of the things I enjoy about this film. It does its best to follow the golden rule of filmmaking: show, don't tell. Dr. Paul Stewart is called in to determine whether or not the Gargantua who's been attacking people is the same one he raised several years prior. He and his assistant Akemi Togawa and their colleague Dr. Yuzo Mamiya work with the Japanese Self-Defense Force to ensure that Gaira is defeated in the way that won't create more clones, and that Sanda is left alone. I would say that these guys help move the plot along, but I just got done saying the film could have done without them, and I meant it. All the Japanese actors do their best with what they're given, but this guy just does not care. Russ freaking Tamblyn. Why are you here, Russ? Was 1966 a slow year for you? Were you just looking for an easy paycheck? What, you think you're too good to be in a kaiju film just because you were in West Side Story? Put some effort in, man. Good lord, the arrogance.
You can't. It's too late now.
No. He saved my life, and I'll save his.
Akemi!
Stop, don't come back.
All that being said, I suppose human characters add to the charm of kaiju films. The characters in this film do help provide a sense of sympathy for Sanda. But again, I don't think we really needed to have the characters, more specifically Akemi, tell us that we need to feel sorry for Sanda. I would love to see a version of this film with all the scenes with Dr. Stewart, Dr. Mamiya, and Akemi cut out. Leave in all the military scenes where they're fighting Gaira and all that, but cut out most, if not all, of the dialogue. I'd be very interested to see whether or not we would be left with a better film. Here we have the first humanoid kaiju in a Toho film. Haruo Nakajima, who plays Gaira, is noted as saying that this was his favorite role because you can actually see his eyes. The fact that you can see the actor's eyes in both monsters helped add to my stance that Sanda and Gaira really carry this film. It does take a bit longer than I would like for Sanda to show up, but when he does, things start to get interesting very quickly. The nonverbal communication and almost human-like expressions help tell the story in a way that's subtle but easy to follow along with. On top of that, there's plenty of beat-em-up action to keep you engaged. Ooh, this battle's getting intense. Who's gonna win? Wait, what? Wait, what's happening? What? What? Volcano? What? That's it? That's how it ends? Am I supposed to feel something? I think the music is telling me I need to feel sad, but I'm not feeling it. Like, there's no conclusion, it just kind of ends. Well, okay then. Kind of similar to how internet conflicts go down, isn't it? You've got two opposing sides with completely different ways of thinking. They throw insults at each other, they try to change each other's minds to no avail, and the argument goes nowhere. There's no clear winner. I guess in that sense you can say War of the Gargantuas was ahead of its time. It predicted meaningless internet arguments. Speaking of meaningless internet arguments, I may annoy a few people by saying this film was just okay. It had me in the first half, but it lost me towards the end. And that does it for today's video. Subscribe to my channel for more kaiju content. Like this video if you had a good time with me here today, and be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram to get an idea of what I have coming up next. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
I become excited, and it's no surprise that the words get stuck in my throat. The words get stuck in my throat. And every time I try to call, I can't speak at all because